But yes, here we are. So 200 wood start. And here is Pérez spawning on the top in the color blue as Russia there. 30 food nearby and 50 coin as well. So could well see a market. That's definitely on the cards. Nearby treasures. Let's take a look. If there's a big wood treasure. Oh, baby, look at that. Look at that in the middle of the map there. Lecastete, I'm going to call you. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm joined by Lecastete. Firstly, tell us how you say it one more time.
Yeah, so basically it's Lecastete.
Lecastete. I love how Kaiser earlier called you Lecastete. I thought that was very funny because you were the caster. Maybe I should just call you Lecastete. You're the caster.
I can make jokes like that, I guess.
Yes, you can. But here's the Sioux in the bottom of the map, playing in green and picking up his 40 coin treasure and a 30 coin treasure there in quick succession with his very fast-moving war chief. Heading off to the right, isn't going to go to the middle. He's not going to find that wood treasure just yet, so could still be up for grabs. Looks like Pérez going to go for 80 food. But yes, I am joined by Lecastete.
Perfect. That was much better. Yeah, so about matchup, I'd say the map is quite good for Sioux, just because it's really huge with a lot of good treasures. You can also aim for like Renegados, Comancheros, really strong treasure guardian that you can use to hunt your opponent explorer if you want to.
He's not gotten one of those just yet. He's gone for the coyote there, but you're right. There's a lot of big treasure guardians here. Some bears on that. Perhaps he's going to find the 80 wood now. He can grab a bear. But Russia, I really like, let's take a look at his scouting pattern. He's sort of gone around the side of the map, really avoiding the middle, and I kind of like that from him. He's sort of staying out of where you'd sort of expect your explorer to be, and is keeping his distance from this sort of Sioux war chief. He doesn't want to reveal his position, although he is going to be scouted by this coyote. He's going to be able to take that out quite quickly, though, but he doesn't want to get involved with that big, beefy war chief.
Definitely. So I've played this matchup like 6 times today versus Pérez.
You've played it 6 times?
Yeah.
Today, right?
Yeah, today. He really wants to practice that, so basically he knows that he has to avoid Sioux hero if he wants to go for any TP play. Try to avoid Sioux hero as much as you can to not get lamed, obviously.
Yeah, sort of hiding away. He did go for that market by the looks of it, so he's got his early hunting dogs, but this wood treasure could be really hard for him to take with that war chief nearby. He could just go for it, but then, you risk it being stolen, so I wonder if either player will go for it, just sort of leave it there for the time being as a sort of point of contention on the map there. Shall we take a look at the treasures so far? I think Kaister is ahead overall. Lots of coin treasures there. And of course, the Sioux war chief, you'd sort of expect that. Does pick up a bear as well. Not the best conversions. He's already lost his coyote, but can sort of come back in here for this CDB treasure in a bit. Yeah. So you've played this matchup 6 times today.
Mm-hmm.
How does it usually pan out? What do you think?
Well, I think Sioux has to age at some point. Obviously, on this map, it's difficult for Russia to drop like 5 TP stagecoach. That's just not realistic. But yeah, overall, I think Sioux has the upper hand in this matchup. Sometimes you can even swing a lost game with like just a big raid. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, that does
like 3-3 Pérez versus me in this matchup, so it can go either way.
Yeah, it does feel like that though. Sometimes the Sioux just sort of like appear out of nowhere with 8 axe riders and just like kill all of your villagers on a gold mine.
Lost 8 vills.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh well, yeah, that gold mine was not a great one, and now I've lost all my vills, and it feels really sad. But you do have to be careful against the Sioux. That is their speciality, which is sort of raiding here. But we're now up to the Colonial Edge. Both players have clicked up, and let's switch on over to shipment sent. Nothing unusual here. 3 villages for Kaister, who's gone with 2 trading posts. Pardon me, TPs. Calling them trading posts, definitely not that. However, he is building a trading post, one going up on the bottom of the map there. And Russia also going to add in quite an early trading post, actually. This could really delay his blockhouse. And it looks like he's not actually chopping any wood for it. He's just going to get his 400 wood and perhaps build that blockhouse with the 400 wood in base and not get an early one up or a forward one up or anything like that. But before we see that, looks like both explorers here are ready to take 80 wood.
Oh, interesting choice from
Green gonna
just running away.
Yeah, he doesn't want to contest it at all. Maybe a misclick? I don't know. But no, go for the treasure! Oh no, there's a Guardian, right? Sorry, I thought the Guardian was belonging to someone else. Just gonna leave that there for the time being. If one of them tries to crack shot or use the Mother Nature friendship ability, they will be there to contest it or steal the treasure. So got to pay close attention to that. But, the blockhouse... Did I miss that? Did that come off the 400 wood? I'm sure it did.
From the 400 wood? No, he was starting to build this blockhouse 30 seconds ago.
Alright, so... Pardon me. Well, I didn't notice the villagers come forward, but indeed, there is a blockhouse, and it looks like his first shipment will be 5 Cossacks. And they're going to head straight over to this treasure here to deal with the Sioux Explorer. But likewise, Sioux also has 4 Axe Riders.
Four Axe Riders for Sioux, but...
I know who my money's on.
Who wins this fight, actually?
It does pick up the...
killed the hero.
Yeah,
that's quite good.
Just got there in the last nick of time. Doesn't take any fights, though. Does have some Seatonbow out on the field that he trained from his war hut. And likewise, Pérez has musketeers as well. Market now coming down in the back. Rip. He must have lost an Axe Rider there.
Yeah, not sure if trading the Sioux hero for 80 wood is good. I don't think so, but...
That's what he did.
Pérez doing? Dropping his second lockhouse and maybe trying to poke a bit on the Sioux base.
Yeah, 700 wood coming in, with which he's spent on a blockhouse, adding in a second trading post as well. Looks like Pérez being sort of very conservative with his units almost. Not any sort of raiding, just sort of looking around. He's now coming sort of this way, perhaps to deal with that trading post there. He can take... You mentioned at the start it was unlikely for Russia to go for a big stagecoach, but maybe that is what he's going for. He's coming in to destroy it. The Musketeers not really sure what they want to do. Sort of standing in the middle.
Bait here, but...
I see. Have those axe... He doesn't want to show the muskets, right? Have those axe riders come across the map and then get caught by the musks or something. Looks like, though, axe riders, they do see the musks now, and they're not going to head straight towards them. 5 villagers coming out of the Sioux. He's got lots of TPs, and he's got his market down as well. Hunting dog's done. Placer mines now coming in. Oh, wow, that's those are some forward villagers. They are very far forward.
Trying to drop a blockhouse over here. Nah, I'm joking.
A third blockhouse. He's looks like he's going for a... If that is a third blockhouse, that'd be one hell of a contain. It is. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of blockhouses. So looks like Russia's...
Get as much line of sight as you can.
Russia's game plan seems to be control the hunts, have lots of safe hunt, don't lose any villages, and eventually just sort of get ahead of the Sioux that way. Here, though, being very careful. Looks like the game's paused for just a moment to not lose any units whilst sieging that trading post there. Looks like he's going to take a moment. Kaister will be back soon. But at the moment, the contention very much sort of in this right-hand corner. Yes. Oh, he's back. That was very quick.
Yeah. Not a sec buff. So Kaister is sending 700 coin. Apparently he's willing to hedge now.
700 coin. Okay, so Sioux, as you said, does want to go up to the Fortress Age at some point, where they have access to lots of strong shipments and can get those upgrades in. Get the Wakina out.
Definitely. It looks like Russia is going to go for a timing. Sending 4 Cossacks plus a batch of 5 from his table. With a couple of Ruskets.
Ruskets. Yeah, it looks like he, with the 4 Cossack shipment, is preparing to come in. And this seems like a good time to come in. Looks like he's only just clicked up. Kaister going up with the Wise Woman. So this is going to be A fairly slow age for the Sioux. He's not aging quickly here.
Yeah, well, this timing is quite scary because Sioux doesn't have any stable so far, so he can't train the riders, which would be the ideal counter composition.
Yeah, but he's now getting stuck in. It took him a while there, and this is not looking ideal. Of course, the Sioux, they don't have Minutemen. Does have a batch of war clubs coming out, but a little bit too late, I think. They needed to be in the fight a little bit sooner to deter these Cossacks, but lots of muskets going to be able to focus them down, and really, he's done quite a lot of... This fight is very, very favourable for Pérez.
It's quite... yeah. You see them
Look how...
between the TPs are doing really good well. I think the musketeers though, but...
He's going to come out very, very far ahead here. Those Citambo, not long for this world. More war clubs coming out to defend against the Cossacks. But he's done a lot of damage.
Yeah, definitely.
Mind you, he has sort of neutralized most of the units now. Fighting under the TC and the War Hut isn't super ideal, but he is able to kill them off before they get upgraded or something like that. But Sioux maybe it's not too bad for Sioux. He is up to the Fortress Age now.
Yeah.
Or will be in moments.
He can keep on talking for a bit, to be honest. Well, slow age is really curious.
It's actually so slow, isn't it? Like, you're just like, it's nearly done, because you're so used to, like, the Messenger or the Exiled Prince, but really it's not nearly done. It's still, like, a good 15 seconds off, but he is finally up to the next stage. And yeah, here comes the reinforcing units, right?
Right now, basically can only ship, like, a cavalry shipment and train 5 Lakinas from his war hut, but that's basically it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see... I don't even think a batch of units and a shipment is going to hold this. There's so much stuff here, and all these units are built up. Yeah, just gonna go for the throat. Look, Pérez just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna siege down your... Rifle riders do come out, though. They're gonna deflect those Cossacks. Very strong unit, this. I wonder if going for the TC was the right choice. But if he can kite these well and not lose any, and you know, the muskets don't have the super best range, and nor do the skirms, perhaps it'll be alright. And these units shoot so quickly, and they do such good damage against really anything they're in combat with. He really needs to keep an eye on them and not lose them. Oh, wow.
I think he lost too many deals in the process, but yeah, he might just clean up. His rifle riders are very good versus Cossack and Musketeer.
Strelet volley. There's just not enough units here now for Russia. Where are his reinforcements? Is he... Oh, let's take a look at... No. But... God, these... I can't... How did he clean up with just that? He did lose 6 bills for it.
Because a couple of Sioux units between TPs are quite good, actually.
That's true. The TPs do give a really strong bonus to the units. I can't believe he cleaned that up. He's still here. And he's up to the Fortress Age. Sioux is fine. Sioux really is fine.
Yeah, he's fine for the time being, but he just sent 9 Wakinas. So basically he's got some kind of skirm good composition versus H2 Russia. Problem with that is he can't really raid and he can't siege, so can't break the forward base with that. He's gonna send his rifle riders to raid, but those guys are really terrible versus Vils.
Nothing up there for him to find.
Yeah, so he's gonna have a stable now.
Yeah, building the stable in. Got to get that at some point. Let's take a look at the other shipments available to Kaister. He sent 9 Wakina, he sent 5 rifle riders, has axe riders and dog soldiers and a bunch of quite costly mercenary sort of units that are going to provide upgrades as well.
He's fine to stay in his base for a while, because he's poison H up. He's gonna lose another deal.
And perhaps another, yeah, and another one. God, he's lost a considerable number of vills. Yeah. But Green's still somehow ahead on score. I guess often that's the case. Playing Russia, your score is usually quite low with all those things in queue. But it may be the case that he's in the Fortress Age and that he was able to hold and sort of defend out. But look at his economic unit population there. 40 villages for blue. Russia just sort of scale harder and better. They also have better upgrades. They've got the steel traps, whereas the green doesn't. And also, he's killed so many villagers during that big push whilst his opponent was aging.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of Axe Riders here, though.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
This timing of 10 Axe Riders there. There's no anti-cav for...
There is not enough. You're absolutely right. There's really not very many anti-cavalry. This could be a really big issue. Maybe he jams the Strelets in between the blockhouses. He's going to give up the chase, though. Maybe he's scared of 10 musk popping or something. He doesn't want to fight next to 2 blockhouse, but if he'd pushed in, those Strelets really could have had some issues. But I think actually some more Cossacks joined the fray, and they will perform the function of anti-cavalry. They'll make a big line between... the Cav and his Strelets to protect them. But now Russia getting really quite strong. He's got Boyars in, and now Team Cavalry Scouts, which gives 10% HP to his Cossacks, is in as well. So quite strong Cossacks, very strong Strelets. And now I think he has enough Cossacks to handle these Axe Riders, as we can see here.
Yeah,
not going to have an issue, whereas moments before it would have been very strong timing. Rifle Riders coming in from behind, but they really don't want to be taking damage. They're so weak and flimsy.
Oh wow, that's really unfortunate trade from Sioux. That was kind of his last window. See what he can do now, but yeah, being so far behind Nico and just losing a couple of Axe Riders, he was trying to upgrade them. That's why he didn't take the fight between the blockhouses, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, I think Russia's in a solid position. He might be, you don't want your opponent to get to H3. That's usually bad news if you're Russia. But he's got a very big army. He's got a very big economy. He's very safe with all these war huts. Look at all of this, blockhouses. So much safety. I mean, these perhaps not so much, but only a few on that side. It is near his military buildings. I think Russia, he doesn't need to risk anything. He just sort of, as long as he keeps making units and doesn't lose any villagers and keeps the Sioux contained, he'll be absolutely fine. And look at this. The hunt's very, very low. There's only 3 dead animals left, and they're about to get eaten up super quick. And then the green player will have to push out. And where is his hunts? I guess they're over here, but he's going to be out in the open. He's not going to have the safety of these teepees and the war hut and the town center. And his army will be naked out all alone, and he's not going to be having a good time. Eco Theory even coming in as well. Russia just playing the super safe game, right?
Yeah, if you look at the map, he's got the entire control of his own health. Plus patrolling on two side, and just being more and more ahead. So he's going for dog soldiers now.
Soldiers.
Russia just has to wait between his blockhouses, just sit on his resources and just be fine. Careful not overcommitting until
Oh dear! Oh no! The Cossacks are very far away. He's raiding with every Cossack he has. This fight might not be very good. He's got some musk, so he can defend against the Axe Riders. But without these units in the fight, this represents so much of his fighting potential. He's just going to get cleaned up. Oh, Pérez! Oh no! What a disaster! What a throw! Brilliant! Oh no, but he is back now. He's got his units in here. He's on top of the Wakina.
X3 Striders past the fire pits, providing a native bonus. That was kind of the best trade you could hope for. It's still going to be close.
Yeah, but imagine how much less close it would have been if the Cossacks were in there from the beginning. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear.
Pérez is gonna kill himself tonight, I'm pretty sure about that.
What a disaster.
When he played versus me, to be honest.
Right, I need to turn you up actually. During that fight, the game sounds are really loud, so let's do that real quick. And
oh my god. Well, he's still got a solid eco and a good map control for now, so he can probably remass. But he can't make the same mistake once again now.
Yeah. Maybe he's got one get out of jail free card, right? He was so far ahead that he had one. He was able to make one big mistake, but any more, and it really will be Not looking too good for him. Oh, could this be the mistake? Is he going to get snared? He did, but he's going to give up the chase there. The Cossacks will get away. Oh, wow. I can't believe what we're seeing. I can't believe it. It felt like it was in the bag for Russia.
Why did he win for a 30 Cossack raid?
30 Cossack raid.
No.
Yeah. It's a very, very scary raid, but not when your main army gets caught out. This highlights the importance of not raiding with all your units, right?
That's the perfect example, to be honest.
We should just highlight that and upload it as a clip. Like, it's just like, don't raid with all your Cossacks. 2 million views. I can see it now. But he's continuing to build blockhouses and just control the whole map, right? He knows, like, the one way you lose, or it feels like at my level anyway, the one way you lose to Sioux is just like all your vills on a gold mine get killed or something. So plenty of buildings he can garrison in, playing very safe.
And now it's just your time to throw.
Yeah, and I think this is really, really good. He's denying these Sioux raids. He's in the right place. The Sioux doesn't have the Sioux. Oh, I thought the Sioux would be fine there, but the War Chief's not in the group, so he's not going to be able to escape too easily. So actually taking a few losses there. It does have some Wakina out, which are going to be quite troublesome for those musketeers. But there are plenty of Cossacks, and I think that is absolutely wicked. They'll be fine to deal with these Wakina.
I'm not sure they will fight in the middle of the villagers. So it's only still, oh yeah, this is just much Russian units actually.
Yeah, I think Russia's got this. He's got all these upgrades on his units. Now the Cossacks are on top of the Wakina, and that is really going to be over. The Musketeers are not going to be threatened anymore. These Wakina, all their shots are going on to the Cossacks, and this fight will be absolutely blue favoured, but almost threw it away. He almost threw the game away. But now that Sioux has lost his mass, and he's in the Fortress Age, he won't be getting those back. I think, most of that army really was made up of sort of unit shipments, and he's not going to be getting that back anytime soon, especially with half the eco population.
Yes.
Almost effed up. Yes. Yes, Pérez. That was not the best raid I've seen. That was a game. That was a game.
Not sure if you needed 600 gold to H, to be honest. You can just stay H2 and do just Russia stuff, sitting on the entire map and massing as many units as they can.
Look at all these vills he lost, right? On his way to the Fortress Age. He went up with the Chief. I wonder why he didn't pick the Messenger to go up to Fortress with. It felt like he could have, he actually held that fight, remember, in base when he went up to the Fortress Age. He did lose a lot of units for it, but he would have lost considerably fewer if he was able to get up to Fortress, a bit sooner with the Messenger or something, and then start sending the shipments and training the units there and have that sort of advantage. Instead, he just loses a lot of units and villages, as you can see on this graph, and Russia just sort of slowly always gets further and further ahead of you and just has considerably more resources there. But let's take a look at military unit population. Not a great fight for Blue, and his Cossacks were not in it, but still went like not terribly, I guess, just because he had so much more stuff. But at the end here, the second fight, Blue takes it, and that will be that. But let's switch on out to the civilization selection screen. The next map will be Fertile Crescent. Do you have any thoughts on that final game? Well, that first game wasn't really a final game.
Yeah, I mean, Pérez almost threw the unthrowable, but yeah, overall, it was quite well played by him, just controlling the map, going for a good timing on Sioux base soon as he tried to age. Not sure about Sioux build order. Actually, I really feel if you want to age, you need to have like 4 riders between your TPs, especially versus like Cossack and Musketeers timing, the way you can hold. Here he lost quite a lot of units, but then he was like really behind. He needed really not to trade, but to completely crush this fight where Pérez has his Cossack away. But unfortunately for him, he didn't. So.
Sorry, I was just speaking to Zach. We'll get back into this in just a moment.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
but he's not getting. He's now getting stuck in. It took him a while there, and this is not looking ideal. Of course, the Sioux, they don't have Minutemen. Does have a batch of war clubs coming out, but a little bit too late. I think they needed to be in the fight a little bit sooner to deter these Cossacks. But lots of muskets going to be able to focus them down, and really, he's done quite a lot of. This fight is very, very favourable for Pérez.
It's quite. Yeah. You see them
Look how
between TPs are doing really good well. I think the musketeers though, but
he's going to come out very, very far ahead here. Those Tambo, not long for this world. More war clubs coming out to defend against the Cossacks, but he's done a lot of damage. Yeah, just gonna go for the throat. Look, Pérez just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna siege down your. Rifle riders do come out though. They're gonna deflect those Cossacks. Very strong unit this. I wonder if going for the TC was the right choice. But if he can kite these well and not lose any, and the muskets don't have the super best range and ignore the skirms, perhaps it'll be all right. And these units shoot so quickly. And they do such good damage against really anything they're in combat with. He really needs to keep an eye on them and not lose them. Oh, no. The Cossacks are very far away. He's raiding with every Cossack he has. This fight might not be very good. He's got some musk, so he can defend against the Axe Riders. But without these units in the fight, this represents so much of his fighting potential. He's just going to get cleaned up. Oh, Pérez. Oh, no. What a disaster. What a throw! Brilliant! Oh no, but he is back now. He's got his units in here. He's on top of the Wakina.
X3 Striders past the fire peaks, riding a net of bonus. That was kind of the best trade you could hope for, but this is still going to be close.
Yeah, but imagine how much less close it would have been if the Cossacks were in there from the beginning. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. And I think that is absolutely wicked. They'll be fine to deal with these Alright, welcome back everybody. We will be getting into game number 2 in just a moment there. We've just gotten back into the Game Ranger lobby and we'll launch up in just a moment. The next map will be Fertile Crescent. As you can see here, first victory went to Pérez, and that was with Russia, so he can't play that anymore. Next game will be Fertile Crescent, and we will see what the players select. So how do I launch this room? Oh, I'm the host, I must be, but how do you... Pérez still in the lobby. I pressed abort.
Pérez and I are still in the same lobby.
Oh. Are you... oh, can you tell him to leave? We're going back to the Game Ranger lobby.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't realise that was possible.
That's alright.
Always some issues with Lobby Simulator.
Alright.
Need a new taunt. that would be appropriate. Alright, we are launching now. Let's do this.
Oh.
What a disaster. Yeah, that would be a good taunt. I like that. And we have made Lecastete. We've made him quieter. Louder. We certainly don't want to be making you quieter. Your mic is actually quite low. But we will be getting to this very shortly. Just waiting for the players to join, and then we can start. Game number 2. I would love to see what a disaster taunt.
Would be quite a good taunt.
Yeah, it would be so appropriate for so many situations. It would be so appropriate. You could use it when you raid with 30 Cossacks and they all of your army dies. You could use it when I'm imagining fighting under your opponent's TC and a batch of cav, muskets, minutemen, and a shipment all spawn at the same time. Wow, that sounds like an AZEMP game. Okay, you should be able to join now.
Same game is full.
Oh, just a second.
There we go.
Ah, perfect. I was lucky. I was worried that you would take slot 2 there. But, yes. I love your 4,000. You're doing it wrong. That the home city should be level 9,001, just so that it is indeed over 9,000.
I'll try to fix that for next one.
Mine's level 10. I've got some more impressive home cities. I'm going to go with Spain. That's my favorite civ. We'll play with them. All right. So, next up, Pérez will have to select first. He has elected to go with China. He picks first because he won the previous game. And he's saying that he needs to check his decks. So, and he's saying he can't remember his deck, which is not ideal either. He made one. Ah, okay. He did make one. That's good. That's good.
But I don't remember. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Take a look. Take a look. Maybe the other guy will host. Okay, it's important to check the decks. It is obviously an important part of Age 3. Okay, he's hosted up. I guess that was quick. He did check very fast. He was not wrong.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, it's all good. I think he's fine. I think he's happy. That was much faster than I anticipated. I thought he would be a while fiddling around with cards. As that can, if anyone's built a deck in any game that lets you build decks, Hearthstone, Magic, or any other game indeed, building decks is always very fiddly. Well, it's always like, oh, I don't want to cut this last card, but I kind of have to. But never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 2 in a best-of-5 series between Pérez and Kaister. It is a round of... Well, it's not a round of anything match. I was going to say round of 8 or round of 16. It's not neither of those. It's, in fact, a lower bracket match. Lower bracket round 2, or as we're calling it, the Elimination bracket, because this is indeed where you get eliminated. The upper bracket, you only get dropped down to the lower bracket, but in the lower bracket, you indeed do get eliminated. I'm sure everyone knows how that works. I don't know why I'm explaining it so thoroughly, but yes, it is game number 2. The first victory went to Pérez with Russia against the Sioux here, and now Pérez will play China. Let's start with him in the north of the map, in the color blue. Here he is. And his opponent is actually going to be playing the Sioux again. He's going to stick with the Sioux. It seems like a civ that Kaister is happy with, and he's going to continue playing it. So perhaps didn't go so well for him in the previous game, but clearly a civ he likes to play and is happy to play into China. But China, let's see where that monk goes. He has got a wood start here by the looks of it. Or is it a food start? No, wait. What am I talking about? China always gets the same crates. So perhaps we'll see him build a trading post. He's going to pick up 20 coin there. Let's see where he goes. He will go to the trade site, which is the important thing, which is what I was looking out for. Will he build a trading post? And the answer is yes. Let's see what the Sioux War Chief does. 1 TP in base, but going to head south. Not going to build, by the looks of it, a trading post, but will try and find his opponent's monk by the looks of it. Is he just going to... No, he's going to go for 30 XP. So he's just scouting out treasures sort of on this left-hand side as opposed to the middle, playing it safe. But yes, that is the early plays. We see a trading post from China, but the Sioux are just going to be treasuring.
Yeah, definitely. We can see that all the good treasures are on the right side of the map. 80 coin, 90
wood, yeah. Nothing super important in the middle here. Just a rhino guarding, two rhinos rather, guarding a wounded tiger. And 40 coin there. So yeah, all of the good treasures up in the top. And that is where Kaister is now at, sort of scouting the two sides for those good treasures, ignoring the middle. And he's going to come across those. Perhaps they more... Okay, has got a lion there. That's a nice convert. And is able to get a tiger as well, probably just waiting for the nature friendship ability. Standing still for the time being, regenerating his health, and I'm sure we'll go for that. But Pérez going to come down, but we already know there's no treasures here. Green scouted them, so nothing hugely interesting. And I think actually Green's just going to be able to grab both of these really, really easily. Losing a lot of HP. Oh no, that's on his lion. Is the lion going to go down? No, tanking on the lion. I actually kind of like that, rather than his explorer. Keep that nice and high, so that later on in the game, when he's raiding and stuff like that, it can't get picked off or anything. Keep that speed bonus, so to speak. But yeah, I think clearly Kaister is going to win this Age 1 in terms of treasures.
Yeah, definitely. He's not going for the coin treasure just yet. I guess, not sure if he spotted it. Yeah, he did. So he might go for that later.
The 80 coin, yeah. Perhaps he's going there now, just briefly coming down and checking what's down there. But, okay, should we talk about... What is... Let's have a look. Oh, 100 food. That's hidden in the dark. No one found that. Shall we talk about this matchup a little bit then? So shipment sent. Nothing unusual. Northern refugees and villagers. But as we often see, China, they like to do the fast fortress. Get up to the fortress age very quickly, start sending those very powerful unit shipments. And China, very, very strong at that, as we know. Although in the previous series, we saw Maito staying colonial a bit longer than I would have usually thought or usually expected anyone to stay. So clearly, something you can do. But we'll see what... Kaister. How do you play the Sioux then? I suppose you haven't played this matchup 6 times today, like the previous one.
No, unfortunately no. I played with Kaister a bit too, so... But we played like Arrow versus Dutch, because these are Sioux that both players like to play. But for Sioux versus China, I'd rather be Sioux, to be honest, just because of the H2 potential.
That's funny, because I'd rather be China, but that's because I really like the fast fortress style, and I've done it a lot as Spain, so China probably the... But mind you, neither Civ's ones I play particularly often. Looks like, though, Kaister, he will be going for a trading post during transition, adding that in now, and is going to be going up with the Chief for 400 wood. A Summer Palace going down for China here. Let's take a look at their decks before we get up to the next age. So, Kaister... obviously, the Sioux, they have a lot of, as you just said, Age 2 potential, can be very aggressive. That 4-axe rider shipment we often see coming out very, very early on, and indeed, that was what he did last time, and probably going to be able to do sort of a lot of damage to China if he is going to Fast Fortress, sort of in that early portion. You get those 4-axe riders out really early on, rush them over here, keep all these villages belled up. I don't think you'll ever really deny the age up, but... In the sense that they can't put the building down or click up, or so to speak, but you can, you see 4 villages on here building this very quickly. Often China will put sort of 8 villages on their Fortress Age Wonder, which is the maximum to get up as fast as they possibly can. But if you're in there with lots of units, which the Sioux are very good at doing, perhaps you can slow that down and just make them take a whole extra minute. If there's no villagers on the Wonder, it takes them a whole extra minute to sort of get up to the next age. So we're probably expecting Kaister to scout that out, see if there is a fast fortress. It's what I'm expecting, and we'll see lots of Sioux units in there trying to do as much damage as they can early on. But ultimately, after that, I expect Kaister to sort of go on up to the Fortress Age, where Sioux have lots of strong shipments as well and can do quite well there too. Would you agree with that sort of assessment?
Yeah, I mean... well, Sioux going for like a really aggressive opening before Axe Riders first.
Yeah, so looks like that's on the cards then. Aggression. And even going to convert a... I wonder if he'll stop to kill off the other Rhino. Yeah, he's going to do it. He's converted a Rhino. Whilst the units are here, just quickly kill that off. The area damage from the Sioux War Chief knocking over a tree. Going to pick up a wounded tiger there, and then but to do this, he's losing a lot of time, right?
Yeah. Obviously he's losing time. Well, he's getting a rhino and a tiger for that, which could be useful at some point. But yeah, now going in with the Axe Riders, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and look, if he
from China on the way.
If he'd been a bit quicker, look, China's only just managed to click up. In fact, he's not actually clicked up. He's made a villager instead of clicking the age up button. He's going to... Oh, no, he's called the sentries, of course, and he's going to push these units away. But if he hadn't stopped for that tiger, then he'd be in his base right now, and China only just getting that 1,200 food. So he could have belled up all of these villagers and stopped them gathering food, and then China wouldn't be able to click up, and this age-up wonder would not be going down right now. But he actually spent that time instead for a rhino, and what is the rhino really achieving? Sure, it's got 300 HP and it does 10 damage versus stuff, but
it's a good tank.
Yeah, but against China, what you want to do is stop them from aging, delay that as much as possible, make them take as much pain as possible in exchange for going up to the Fortress Age. And here, China is able to get that age up down, and that rhino not overly useful.
Yeah, but reinforcing batch of Axe Riders for Sioux, and then, now you can just clean the spikes. The Wanderer is going to be idle for a while, and Pérez has already lost a few villas, I believe 2 or 3. He lost 2 villas so far.
Yeah. So let's take a look at units lost and see exactly that on the screen. Yeah, you're right, 2 villages. And this is what he needs to be doing. I do like what he's doing. He's standing under the TC, forcing all the villagers inside. He is losing Axe Riders for this, but what he is doing is keeping those villagers off that age-up wonder, right? That's the crucial thing. You really have to delay China from aging up here, but it seems like a good time to be leaving. Maybe he knew that around this minute mark that we'd be seeing 3 Quang Pikemen and indeed the Chocanu from the Summer Palace there.
I like what Pérez was doing. So basically, he had like 9 pikes on the way, and he just canceled the shipment as soon as he saw Sioux back. He's gonna take the trade. But yeah, he's gonna use at least 1 more Axe Riders in that.
Is going to fight them there, but the pikemen are going to do good damage. He is forcing villagers into the TC, but he lost quite a lot of HP to deal with. These. Yeah, it does lose the hero, and that wonder is being delayed again, which is what he wants. But having to fight the Quang Pikeman means that he's basically lost all those cav now. And China, I think China will be... I mean, China took some damage. He was delayed a little bit, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be quite pleased with this situation. He's now up. He's got his porcelain tower, which is currently configured to export, but he can switch that over to wood. And that's considerable number of villages. The porcelain tower on here is worth 8 villages, apparently, if it's configured to wood. So that's a huge age up. And now China up, nice and safe. And I don't think the Sioux's done enough. I really think this could be tough.
It's just another weird build from Kaister. So basically, we went really aggressive and went for some IFF, but he didn't send 5 villas, so his eco is quite weak right now. Moreover, he's aging, but with a slow age once again. We will just give time to China to just stabilize and get the shipments and getting the army bigger and bigger.
Yeah, he's going up with the Wise Woman this time, which is going to grant not any military units, but actually a lot of bison, which kind of makes sense. I mean, he's built tons of teepees around his... that's a lot of teepees. In fact, all of them, I think, around his town centre. So the gather rate on these hunts will be exceptional once he's sort of up to the next stage. So there is synergy here, but it is a slow age. But maybe that's fine, right? You want to do lots of early damage versus China, sort of slow them down. And then, racing up to the Fortress Age isn't...
He did really well at idling China. You can see... What was the age up of China? I think it's going to be 823. Yeah, that's a nice delay. Not sure it's going to be enough, though. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, now that China is up, I guess there's not really any hurry, so it doesn't need to be going up fast. Perhaps it's okay to send the bisons and have that really strong gather rate, and now he can mass units behind this.
No,
Pérez, though... well, that kind of negates the bison, actually. That's sort of awkward.
Yeah,
and that rhino... Look, the rhino he got earlier that he spent all that time going for... Oh, poor rhino. I feel kind of sad for him. I wonder what its name was. You can click on them; they have names. I reckon it was like Barry the Rhino. Can we get some F's
Barry
in the
the
chat?
Rhino.
F for
He
Barry.
was converted, so I don't think so, but...
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but
you
the
have
tiger had a name, though.
The tiger had a name. But that rhino, who cares? He didn't have a name. We don't care about that. You need a name to be worth anything. But yeah, it looks like it's worked out all right. He's got his bisons, although he did lose 2 vills up in the top. But he's got his Wakina out now, and China can't really push into that because he's got bow riders in the back there, and basically China just has to wait a little bit longer for some more units. But he's starting with 5 Meteor Hammer, followed by Intervention for the Musketeers, which are very, very strong muskets somewhere between Veteran and Guard. They're just called Redcoats. Oh, look at that. Disciples as well from China. Coming forward.
That's too pushing, to be honest. I feel like if this army connects, then China just gonna win. But we'll see.
Yeah.
There's more Axe Riders coming across here.
It's alright. He's going to get away with it. Yeah. In fact, this has worked out alright. He's gotten a volley on that Musk. He's killed off a Meteor Hammer. He might even...
Yeah.
No. That worked out just fine, but yeah, it's kind of scary. But he's doing what he needs to. Against China, it's often... You can't let them mass up that giant death ball, right? So, just sort of poking in there and doing a little bit of damage where he can.
Versus
So
China, I like to trade all game long. I mean, early X3, trying to just trade a shipment for another. To just not be in a position where I can't micro versus China massive unit.
China's like, I think partly why they're so scary is they get like 4 different unit types. Hundreds of different unit types. They've got muskets and they've got skirmishers, Changdao swordsmen, disciples, all of the unit types. In fact, 2 different types of cavalry as well, almost. Well, Meteor Hammers and Iron Flails. Yeah. Anyway. And if you keep trading against them really early on, they're never going to get lots of different types of units, and you're not going to get out-comped. So that sort of makes sense, right? But China is getting a big army now. It looks like Sioux is going to push out.
Yeah.
But I'm actually kind
China
of...
is like 10 wheels ahead in eco.
Yeah. I was about to
This
say
mess
this.
is going to get bigger and bigger. And I really feel like Sioux is on the timer right now.
Sioux needs to do something, right? Like, he's 10 vils behind. Mind you, those TPs... Well, actually, who cares? 10 vils is 10 vils. It's not actually a 10 vil.
It's not really what you wanted.
It's that porcelain tower that's really... 4 wood per second is absolutely bonkers. Although it does pick up a free village. But, yeah, if I'm China here, I mean, obviously, if I wouldn't know how many villager population my opponent has, but... If I did, he's got 38. It's just, like, you just sort of wait, right? It's on Sioux. The Sioux has to do something. Cavalry combat coming in.
Yeah. Hard to say. Obviously, as China, it's really enjoyable to just mass a ton of units. On the other hand, I'm not sure if you want to wait for Sioux to get, like, cav combat and insane cav.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? Like, as well. As soon as, like, I often find... The safer thing to do is just to not take fights sometimes and just get, once you have enough units that it makes sense to send cav combat. I feel so happy when I can do that. But, that's awful. Look at those Changdao absolutely beating up. And look at the Meteor Hammers on top of the Wakina. That was such a terrible fight. Like, Green is absolutely boned. Like, just everything went wrong. He had Meteor Hammers, he had all the China's cav on top of his skirmishes, and the Changdaos and muskets all on top of his cavalry. And just, like, that fight was, like, possibly the worst fight ever. Like, that was just... I'm sorry, there's no redeeming qualities there. That went so horribly wrong for the Sioux. It was
right, like the positioning was just terrible for the
Oh, that's so... I feel so sad for him. Oh, dear. Kaister. Oh, my goodness. 2-0 to Pérez here.
Yeah, pretty sure this trade should have been equal if both players could have micro in an optimal way.
Yeah. God, you sound so chilled out. You're just like, yeah, it would have been fine. You're just like the chillest guy I've met. You're just... It's great.
I'm starting to be a bit quiet, to be honest, that's why.
Yeah, that's fair. It's getting quite late, isn't it? Mind you, my sleeping pattern is, well, we start the stream at 6, right? So for me, like 1 p.m. is like the equivalent of most people's like 10 a.m. right? Like, so I'm wide awake. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna when I get home, I'm watching Game of Thrones at 2 a.m. Like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, typical Easter weekend in England.
Yeah. Oh dear. I'm looking. I don't know. That fight was. I'm very sorry, Kaister, but that went horribly wrong. We'll see it in a clip in just a moment. I assume we have clips, but before. Oh dear. I'm sorry, Kaister. He's not out yet. It is a best of 5, so he's got time to redeem himself. Maybe he'll play Sioux again, and he can prove that he is a good Sioux player. But actually, wow, look at this. Despite China being so far ahead on Vils in terms of that graph we were looking at, it's actually quite even. Maybe the teepees, right? And these teepees and the bison that he sent from the Wise Woman actually sort of kept him on par with the Porcelain Tower. So it seemed like, yeah, if this fight had traded better, this game could definitely have gone on and been fairly even. He was not super far behind as we sort of thought he was in terms of villages. It's actually much closer than we thought. Those all resources gathered, but let's head on out and take a look at the civilization selection screen. Looks like 2 quick victories for Pérez. Sioux playing the Sioux twice. Kaister playing the Sioux twice. But let's take a look at those highlights, and we'll see you in a moment. Safer thing to do is just to not take fights sometimes, and just once you have enough units that it makes sense to send cav combat. I feel so happy when I can do that. But that's awful. Look at those Changdao absolutely beating up, and look at the meter hammers on top of the Wakina. That was such a terrible fight. Like, green is absolutely boned. Like, just everything went wrong. He had meteor hammers, he had all the China's cav on top of his skirmishes, and the Changdaos and muskets all on top of his cavalry, and just like, that fight was like possibly the worst fight ever. Like, that was just, I'm sorry, there's no redeeming qualities there. That went so horribly wrong for the Sioux. It was funny. Me and Lecastete, yes, we'll call you that. I was just watching that with you guys. It just makes me laugh. It was such a unfortunate fight to be stuck in as the Sioux there. But let's see what civilizations they pick. We've got Pérez. Comeback, SNZ. I don't know what SZN means. What does that mean? It's season, apparently. I have no clue either, but I would love to see that. I'd love to see Kaister come back with the... Maybe, you know, I can understand. So that's happened to me, right? You just take a fight and, like, everything goes wrong. You're just all in the wrong spots and your Falcons get killed or some nonsense. And it's just not good. Like, that happens. I mean, it's not great, but sometimes it happens. Maybe Kaister can bring it back from here. I actually think these two players are, you know, reasonably matched, but clearly you wouldn't have thought that if you'd looked at the results thus far. But can we see Kaister get back into this? I'd like to see him take at least one game off Pérez, but Pérez going with the Dutch, and this makes absolutely a lot of sense. It is, of course, Pampas. The Dutch are very strong on Pampas.
Yeah, the problem is once you try to engage a fight versus China, then you snare to reposition yourself. Yes. That's not easy.
It is very hard to reposition. Like that's just snares are so. That's how they are, right? That's just what they. That is the trouble. But that's the thing in Age 3. You cannot be taking a fight until you're absolutely certain that it's the right time to do it. I mean, that's the story for any Age game or any RTS game, but particularly when you can't reposition and you can't escape that kind of thing because of the snare effect. It just makes the game sort of that much more punishing almost. But a mechanic it's a double-edged sword in a way. But we are getting into perhaps our final game. It is Pérez on match point, as you can see. It is a Dutch mirror. But let's see if Kaister can bring it back. As I said, I think these two players are evenly matched. So, chat, I want to see some support for Kaister. Yes, I want you to bet on him. Although, if you value your points, I don't know. I'll take a look at the betting. I'm interested to see who people go for here. But I think Kaister can take a game. What do you think?
I think so too. I think these players have the same level actually, because I often play both of them. So yeah, I can see that they have the same level. Yeah, but Perez seems to be performing
Yeah.
a bit better so far. So
He does. Let's start with him. Perez does seem to be performing a bit better. You're absolutely right. Here he is in the south of the map. Can he make it the 3-0 sweep? If so, I think he'll be pretty pleased with himself. But it is a wood... It is a food stop, actually. One wood crate and a food crate.
yeah,
The rest a
before
coin.
the series was asking to me if I was thinking he could take at least one game from Kaister. So yeah, he should be. He could be. I mean, he should be really pleased about leading 2-0.
Yeah, if he was at the start, you here? Question mark. That's what it feels like sometimes, isn't it? It's like, why is the game not started? Maybe I should just say no. That's confusing. Let's confuse the players.
All right.
No, we're not here. Well, actually, maybe now I'm worried that he will be confused. Oh dear, where has he gone? The game should have started by now.
Yeah, Meister got quite a slow laptop, but
We shall see. If there's any connection issues, the game will tell us that he dropped. So we'll just assume that he is here. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the south of the map in the color red, we do have Pérez. Yes, there was a connection issue.
Rip.
Well, that explains a lot, I guess. All right, then we'll get back to you. Watch this space. We'll find out later. Find out after the break, after Lobby Simulator. So next up in our regular programming, Lobby Simulator, followed by Can Kaister take a game of Pérez?
Yes. Let's re-host that. Game lobby. Okay.
Yes.
I just went right to the menu.
Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Well, at least he dropped at the start of the game, right? If we were like 10 minutes in and it was like, you know, a fairly even game, that would be kind of hard. Wait, AoE3 players play on laptops? Yeah, well, these aren't pro players. Mind you, some of the pro players do play on laptop. In fact, Maito actually played on a trackpad before he sort of got really when he was back on the Mac community on Game Ranger, before he started getting really good. I cannot believe he got to like a respectable level, like PR 25-6 back in the day, purely on a on a trackpad. Like, how is that possible? Like, it doesn't make any kind of sense. But yeah, now he actually uses a mouse and keyboard, and he's unstoppable. Like, he's so good now. So clearly that was what was holding him back, right? A trackpad. But yeah, there are a considerable number of AoE3 players that use and also not everyone can, like Azamp, for example. He's often traveling, so he's often on a laptop playing. But yes, he's hosting. Okay.
Kaiser Clown was also playing on a laptop.
Yeah, and Kaiser's just gotten a new computer, actually, and he's like, he was complaining to me that he's dropped like 2 PR, and like tons of elo just because like he's not used to his new actual desktop computer that he's playing H3. He even asked me like, if I make it to the LAN, can I play on my laptop? And I was really worried we'd have to let him, but he has got a desktop PC now and he is practicing.
Please, no. Don't accept that, otherwise Karja will complain.
Why would about what? Garja always complains. It doesn't.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
If everyone got the same setup, then he can't complain anymore.
That's true. That's true. Garja's in the lower bracket now. Kaiser knocked him down. God, that lower bracket is stacked. Like, it's so exciting to have a lower bracket. I hope going forward, ESOC tournaments will just parallel rivers. That's not the correct map. Yes, Pampas Sierras. That's better. Okay, the players are in the lobby. We are ready. Let's see who can win this Dutch mirror. Will Kaister get back in this? They're evenly matched players, believe it or not, but Kaister, oh my goodness, is 2 points down. All right, let's take a look at the lobby. It is Dutch versus Dutch, as you can see there. And I don't know why I asked to see the lobby, because we're only going to go back to the Civ selection screen. So we briefly got a glimpse at the secrets behind. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, after a brief interlude, after Lobby Simulator, we are now resuming our game versus Kaister and Pérez. The score is 2-1 to Pérez. But they're evenly matched, we've been saying it. But Lecastete, yes. Oh my god, what's wrong?
Okay, my UI spiked. So...
Oh, we didn't start in the free-for-all.
Yes.
We are professionals. Oh dear. Rehost, I guess. More fails, plus. This, like, I think you can make a fail compilation. This has been, like, a tremendous series. It's been a tremendous series. Okay, don't worry, guys. It just makes it that more tense. That's what it does. If anything, we need to work on... No, he keeps kicking me, but that's fine because I need to be in slot 3. All right. Yeah, what were we saying? Something about I'm just imagining it now. Like we've got all these we've got these PCs and like it's like Maito versus Kaiser or something at the LAN, and Kaiser's just like sitting there on a laptop. It's so funny. But no, he's got a PC now. I want to see on LAN. Yes, less likening. Yes. Oh dear. Okay, alright, let's get into this. We are ready. We will be soon. Oh my goodness, this stream is just... Wow, lots of Game Ranger for you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Finally, fingers crossed, Kaister doesn't drop, or something like that. But we are starting... Game number 3. It is 2-0 to Pérez. And we're looking for Kaister to take a game off. I think he can. He's a good player, and actually quite good quite good with the Dutch. So probably favoured in the Dutch mirror just because he's sort of a stronger player, or played more Dutch, I suppose. But spawning, let's start with Kaister. Here he is in the bottom of the map. He has 0 points. Pérez has 2 points there. If he loses, he has to win this game. He has to. Otherwise, he's lost the series here. I'm hoping for a victory, just because I think Kaister can do it, and I'd like to see at least one game taken off. And also, more games is more fun, right? I want this series to go on. I want it to be interesting. But here he is, in the south of the map, in the colour green, playing as the Dutch. This time it will be a 200 wood start, and indeed it will be a 200 wood start for the other player. It is mirrored, but both players going to ignore their treasures in base, simply because of the llamas, right? We're heading on over there. And I really like this, splitting up the envoys and gonna go for the 80 wood treasure. Okay, so he's actually gonna go for this treasure, and it's gonna be completely uncontested, whilst his opponent is sort of going for the yaks here. And because he has an envoy, he's actually gonna be okay to still get some llamas here. It means like he might be a little bit less competitive, like guiding them to safety or like contesting his opponent's llamas, simply because this envoy might, now come down and steal them on the retreat or something like that. But he is gonna pick up up 80 wood pretty much for free there. Very little health done to his Explorer, and that's going to be really, really helpful for this hunting dogs. As you can see, look at that. Pérez, he's sort of built it into his build order, almost, sort of. He's got 33 wood left over, but it did mean he gathered a little bit less wood to get that hunting dogs, which is now coming in. But Kaister not going to go for that wood at all. Maybe that was just a call. He saw the wood treasure and thought, right, I'm getting the early hunting dogs. But at the end of the day, the llamas is 3-3, so it is absolutely fine. He got his wood treasure and he got his llamas, so I think Pérez, he's going to be pleased with that, sort of head in age 1, so to speak. But Kaister, he will be taking the llama lead with this treasure, getting an extra 1. And then out on the map, we still have 75 wood and 90 food as well. Pérez gonna be really happy with that. Really nice treasure find so far.
80 wood, 90 food.
Has he got eyes on this? Has he seen that? He's gonna see it now.
So.
Yeah, he's coming down, right? I think he's seen the treasure. He doesn't know his opponent's Explorer's there, but clearly Kaister is waiting for his crack shot or something. Yeah, you think he used it on the 60 food treasure that he went for. No, the llama treasure, pardon me, that he went for. But yeah, he's just going to wait on the periphery. I think he's seen it, and he's going to wait for his opponent to go for it and then come in at the last moment, and he's going to stand still to regain his HP for the time being. So I really like this play.
Yeah, definitely. It would be quite rough for Kaister if he lost both with treasure on this map.
Yeah, here we go.
He's going to go for it. Okay.
Yeah, he sees it. And now that he's committed to the fight, he's able to come in here and I imagine just go straight into, do some damage versus opponent's Explorer, and positioned very nicely to pick up that treasure if he can get it. So we'll keep an eye on this. Bit of a treasure contention in age 1. So green taking a lot of damage, but the treasure guardian is now down. Let's see who goes in. They're both in at the same time. I really have no idea. Okay, Pérez does pick that up. Just one tick sooner, perhaps.
150 wood.
That was it. Yeah, but he stood there in the middle of the map like an absolute pleb, right? Like that can happen, right? It's a middle map treasure. That always you have to be careful. Didn't even bring his envoy back to scout it, right? Like he had a green envoy. He could have been scouting the top of the treasure to see if his opponent was nearby. He didn't do any of the checks, any of the safety checks. Just went for the YOLO, and it didn't work out. But you are right. It's not ideal. Kaister, if he wants to take a game off his opponent, this is not how you do it.
Yeah, so basically Pérez got the market and hunting dogs, and he got already more wood banked compared to Kaister. So he gets his bank before,
And guess what? As we're saying this, as that treasure contention happened, the bets opened, and I'm kind of wondering how much they'll now favour Pérez because people are hearing this at the same time as they're placing their bets. So it's like I wonder who to bet for. Oh dear. Okay.
My mind. Yeah.
A decisive Pérez age 1 victory. So coming out ahead in that age 1. But, let's see if he can roll that momentum into age 2. There's only treasures at the end of the day. It's small gains, but everything helps, especially at that top level in Age of Empires 3. But yes, let's see how Pérez rolls that forward.
So basically, Pérez was able to build his bank with only one build, just because he had so many resources in terms of wood.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just 3 more villas gathering, and all these treasures just snowballs for Pérez so far. So yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah, he's going to be so pleased, right? And 400 wood will be his age-up bonus. I wonder what he'll do with it. Let's see if he elects to construct a bank, or perhaps 2 houses and a military building. Nothing yet. Let's keep an eye on that. His opponent, though,
going for a second bank. What about Kaister? Kaister will probably do the same, but he will be a bit slower. Yes, he does the same, actually.
Okay. And green getting a scout. Oh, green is green. But Envoy got caught. To be expected. Envoy's very slow. But he's going to spot the 700 wood on the floor. I assume he sort of walked past that. And he's going to know that completely normal things are happening for his opponent there. 700 wood coming down. Okay, so we're going to go with a later stable. Seems fine. Neither player going with the early stable there. You can always get it in off the 700 wood, which is what he's going to do.
I think it's just better to have the stable on 700 wood.
Yep. And Envoy does go down. Okay, and a
Both
market
players
being...
going stable, but both have no clue that the other player is going stable. It's quite interesting.
Hmm.
And yeah, we see only 2 banks for Kaister. Meanwhile, Pérez is adding his 3rd one.
And the
going
4th
for
one.
bank wagon.
So all 4 banks, or actually there's 5, it is ESOC patch. And bank wagon coming down there. And look at this, Perez getting steel traps in just now, whilst Hunting Dogs is only just coming in for Kaister. So that's what Age 1 does. You just, a little bit further ahead in all of these things.
How much snowballed, now Perez got an extra bank because of that, because he already had his market.
Oh, that's true. He didn't have to buy the market. That 80 wood treasure at the start allowed him to get that sooner. You're right. It does add up quite a lot, doesn't it? But 5 cav now out. This is where he can get something back, right? If he gets a really good cav fight, maybe he can make it back. 5 cav coming across the map. Units in queue. Let's take a look.
4, yeah.
He's got 4 in queue currently. Maybe he'll get the 5th one.
No, he can't. He's housed.
Oh right, he's housed. Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem with this build. If you go stable and 4 banks, then you can't.
Then okay. So that's a trade-off. You make the bank, but only have 30 population. He can't be queuing any more vills. And it looks like Kaister might be able to, if he picks the vill up, which he does, then that kind of evens out all of these things we're mentioning. Like his opponent's a vill down now, or it's even.
That's a nice pick for sure.
Yeah, and if he can take a cav fight, he'll win it for sure. He's got an extra cav, right? So I think Perez just needs to be careful. He can't really be raiding his opponent. So instead, these cavs just going to stay at home, and that way he can defend his vills because he has the town centre fire, his explorer, villagers nearby, and of course Minutemen if he really needs them. So 4 cav is fine in base, just not really anywhere else. But it picks up the vill, so evening it out a little bit. Oh, look at this, Kaister electing to stay Age 2 a bit longer, perhaps. He's not going to go up to the Fortress Age just yet. Going to go with a 10 cav in transition, or 10 cav semi, so to speak.
Because Perez is going to try to... And
this is going to be really solid.
In cav fight, of course.
He's trying to bait those cavs into a fight, perhaps? No, he's coming in. 10 cav. Okay, 10 cav versus 4 is really, really solid. But Minutemen can be called here. He doesn't have any units in queue, so he's not like he can pop an extra huss or something like that. That Rax is nearly built. He's going to be able to pick that up. That's really, really nice. And he's obviously belling all these vills have just come back to work. Is he going to take the fight? Yeah, the 4 cav coming in there. They do get caught. But he's just trying to defend the rat barracks for as long as he could, which worked. He managed to get the barracks fully constructed. Did take some hits on the cav for it, but at least it goes up and doesn't take that ×4 anymore. And he's kept these cav, now forcing the vills back into the TC. And he's going to leave Perez now up to the Fortress Age. I'd like to see him stay a little bit longer. He's got a little bit of a window. Whilst
he could have sieged these tracks, trying to catch the house and siege a house for example.
If he can force the fight with the hussars, kill off these huss and then leave, that would be really, really nice. I am a little bit worried that the Reuters will pop out and the batch of Reuters just as he's leaving. He needs to, once these cav goes down, Green has to hurry on out. Green, run. Go away. Leave this place. It's not safe anymore. Okay, and he's doing that. He's going to leave. Good. Okay, there's the Reuters. Just in time. Look at that. He's escaped. The Reuters are going to chase him, but it's too late. I love this. Perfect. Perfect timing.
Yeah, that's nice timing. I don't know what went wrong with Kaister, but he's only on 4 banks, and his age of time is really late, around 10 minutes. I believe he can be much faster doing 10 houses dodge.
Yeah, how do you feel about the 10 huss, right? Like, he managed to do some work. He killed a vill. The extra huss did a lot of idle time, but it felt like he only killed his opponent's hussars there, and he didn't really kill a barracks or anything. I suppose killing the hussars is probably good enough going 10 cav, but his age up is delayed, right? Green is not going to have those shipments as soon. He's not going to have those really powerful military, the skirmishes and the Reuters as soon. Look, Blue's now got his timing, right? He's coming in with the strong units.
Yes, problem now is... he's going to be a lot because his herding wasn't good. Yeah.
Oh, Minutemen. Come on, Minutemen.
I think Pérez should just go midi.
Okay, Skirmish is now coming out. He's going to try and take the snare with the cav and use the skirms.
That trade.
Yes. Villager being shot at again. Come on, cool Minutemen. Do it. And he's got his skirms, more Reuters here as well. Actually, maybe we don't need Minutemen.
He went 1k with, that's really greedy.
Oh, wow, that is really... Holy moly, that's very, very greedy. Wow, I'm kind of... I mean, it's going to be really good if he can get away with it. And maybe he can get his, like, 5th bank down with it as well and get ahead that way. But you're right, like, it's not 8 skirms, it's not 9 Reuters. And because of that, it's going to be really tough if your opponent walks in. And look at this herding, right? Like, there's not very many hunts left. Sure, he's eating the llamas. That might be sort of why he's doing it. 5th bank going down. So he's got food because he's got llamas. If he can get away with this wood, I'll be impressed and I'll be pleased for him. But it does seem very risky, right?
Yeah, that's just full greedy. Let's see how it goes. He has to camp for a while to make this pay off, but he doesn't have the resources for that. He's gonna hit a couple of llamas, though, which is quite good. And Pérez will never send 1k wood just yet.
Yeah, and Pérez is eating his llamas too, so it's not like Kaister's food advantage is even a thing.
Yeah. Basically, Kaister is going for the max greedy build, and he's going to get away with that, which is what you want in
this is good for him.
Mirror.
Yeah, that's what you want. Oh, I'm really pleased for him, actually. Looks like Pérez didn't really do anything to punish it.
Yeah, he could have won 1k with himself after 9 Reuters, and just dropped Raxes in the middle of the map and just take map control like that, but he didn't, so...
Okay, I think the story of this game, then, is that Kaister is now, I think, is now in a really good position. He's got his 1,000 wood out. He's safely gotten away with it. And as a result, he's able to put down his 5th bank going forward. He's gotten his 2nd racks up. And look at all that population he's got. 110 room for units now. So he's kind of set up for that late game. Whereas Pérez, he's going to have some vills on wood constantly chopping. And it's going to be kind of awkward. And he doesn't have his 5th bank down. So in terms of like economy, he's not going to be doing quite as good. Green's slightly ahead here. 5 villages up, actually. And now infantry combat coming in as well. This is really, really nice.
Yeah, we will slowly enter the main phase of the Dutch Mirror, being just like a Skirm War in H3.
Early game over. Initiate mid-game.
And who goes for like infantry combat first, etc.
I love that card. I think it is, like, without a doubt, my favorite card at the moment. Infantry combat. Like, it gives me such a hard on. That card is... I shouldn't say things like that on the stream, but, like, it's such a good card. 15% attack and hit points for skirmisher. Like, it's just disgusting. Like, I mean, everyone has cav combat, but I think everyone is used to cam combat. But, as Kaiser said before... that's good. Look at this.
Kaister cav, getting 1 VL. He's gonna lose Folios, but gonna kill 2 VLs, and yeah. That was a good trade for considering these are like H2 useless parts at the moment.
Yeah, Hussar's not so good anymore, right? Like, they're not going to get anywhere near your opponent's skirmisher mass because the Dragoons will just kill them. And it makes sense to sort of trade them off for a few Vil kills. He could have maybe been a bit safer, maybe kill off a raid round here and force Reuters to run after the Cav and keep them alive for another day. But either way, it's absolutely fine to do that. He's gotten his Vil lead. He's consolidating it even further, 53 to 45 Vils. And he's got the superior skirm mass. This is beautiful.
Yeah. This is looking better and better for Kaister. Score is still quite close right now.
In fact, Pérez is ahead on score, but I don't believe it.
Nah, it's just because he sent 7 skirms.
Oh, that's right. 7 skirms represent quite a few points, right?
Yeah. If you like it, recalculate eco pop, like Kaister is ahead by 8 fields, which is quite a lot.
Yeah. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a skirm war in the middle of the map. But look at the wall, the quick walls. But it's got 0 HP on the other one. It's not even a quick wall. It was just him. It was him building walls because he expected this to happen, but it happened too soon. But it's fine, right? He's going to get. He loses a couple of Vils. He is ahead, so it's not too bad. But obviously doesn't want to lose those. But the Reuters are going to push them away. It's all right.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Kaister's fine.
So Kaister went for 9 Reuters now. Okay. Not a huge fan of the shipment.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see like cav combat or something. That's no God, get out of there! Look at this gun! Oh no, he's taken so much damage! Reuters! Oh no! God, that's so disgusting.
Reuters. No.
Why are they standing there? Get away from the skirms! Oh, I feel so horrible right now. Why has this happened twice in a series? What? He's threw it! I swear to God, he's thrown it!
He's throwing it, yeah, he's throwing it super hard. And he lost a couple of gears too.
Okay, the skirm masses, let's switch on over to military units.
He had some advantage, and now, like, this is...
It's okay. The skirm mass is very even, and remember, his skirms are absolutely insane from the skirmisher card. And the Reuter mass is actually quite even, believe it or not. The only thing that Pérez has going is 5 hussars, but they're rallying into the fight currently. Oh, that's a big deal. 5 hussars rallying into the fight against skirmishers. Oh, he's got some more Reuters in the back. But
well, this is how H2 Host versus like Reuters and call it skirm, so...
yeah, it's probably fine.
This, but...
God, he had such a lead, he just threw it all away.
For that, though. Oh. Kaister, what are you doing? You had
what
that.
is it? It's okay, it's okay. He's fine. And Cav Combat even coming in. He's absolutely fine, but it was just so bad again. Like, oh, this Reuter's just standing in the wrong place, just taking... Maybe he was showing dominance. That's what it is. He wants to win this series. He wants to win this game, but he also needs to prove, like, look how many stuff I can lose and still come out ahead. Okay, it's fine.
So yeah, basically now they almost have the same army and they have the same eco too.
Yeah. They do have the same army. They both got 29 skirms. In fact, Kaister now got 5 more, so he's slightly ahead. And they're carded. He can... It's all good. Actually, it looks like Blue's got carded skirms too now.
Yes, but the only difference is now Kaister is really going heavy on skirms and Pérez is going heavy on Haas actually. Why are you going back? There's only 5 Reuters. I think he could take this fight.
Yeah, with veteran Hussar. Yeah, it looks like he's just not too confident, and that's where, like, you know, punishing these kind of mistakes, that makes the difference between a strong player like these guys and a top player that would just sort of rush in there with his cav and just take that momentary advantage of weakness where there's just not enough Reuters, perhaps, right? There's just, you know, another batch and it'd be sort of fine, but actually Kaister is perfectly okay.
Yeah, totally agree. This is what makes the difference between top players and good players. It's just details.
Yeah, but this game now going to be like a fight over hunts and stuff. He's actually elected to hunt over there. That's like one of the few hunts that are not in the middle of the map. But I think like the fighting is very much over this location. I think there's 2 herds there and a mine.
Yeah.
That's a really important spot to capture at this point in the game. Oh, look at that! Infantry defense coming in for Kaister. But it's actually infantry attack coming in, so fairly even.
I think Pérez is going to win that, to be honest.
I think you're right. Look at all those Huss. He just...
Yeah. And
get out of here.
Huss is just better than Scumroid. But we'll see. Pérez is going infantry attack, so he's massing a lot of Huss, but he doesn't have any upgrades on them so far, so...
Yeah, I kind of prefer infantry attack. Mind you, infantry HP is probably better against Hussars.
That's true.
Well, he's really asking for it, isn't he? He's just like standing so far forward and shoot. Mind you, the Reuters aren't too far away. Alright, yeah. And then they see, like, he's getting a few free volleys and stuff. Mind you, like, infantry, like, during these weird skirmishes where they're, like, trying to bait each other forward, infantry attack is just so much better than infantry HP.
Definitely. So let's see how it goes. Kaister needs
There's
needs
quite a
to
considerable...
hide
Go ahead.
that. Yeah, Kaister really needs to hide that. He's not doing so he's getting a lot of damage from his Haas, and slowly reducing his curve mass, sadly for him. Now Pérez got a really good position with the 2 Haas on the side, and just Kaister is not microing at all, so
this is
getting really good.
This isn't really not ideal for green. Blue's got 42 skirmishes, only to 21 versus Kaister, and that's really the unit that matters now in this fight. These Dragoons, the Reuters can't do anything. They can't really fight in here. They don't really want to be fighting simply because they're so bad against skirms. They're here to defend against the Hussars.
Kaister needs some Huss himself, actually. If he could get like a batch of 5+4 from the shipment, he would be totally fine.
It's over, right? Like, all the skirms are gone now.
It's...
I'd like to have seen a bit more kiting, and I'd like to have seen him get back from that fight. Yeah, but it's not going to be enough. These have got cavalry. They're 2 cards on them. These Huss will just melt away. These skirms don't care. They're like, oh, Huss, that's cute. I'll just shoot them and walk back.
It's not even focusing them, like...
And even more blue Huss entering the fray as well, which should just remind everyone veteran Hussar versus not upgraded ones. But, yeah. And also, like, Green's hunt is about to run out as well. Like, even if he continues this, he's somehow got to gather food, and this is the only food he kind of has access to. And even that's kind of precarious without it being defended. All the rest of the food's in the middle of the map here. Pérez has just full map control now.
And reset for Kaister. He was really in good spots. Regarding
was in a great spot,
which was better, but then this happened with the cliff. And then,
Yeah, he had such a strong lead, right? He got away with 1,000 wood. He had carded...
This is risky. Imagine 5 Huss popping, Kaister's going to resign.
Oh, and it will be 3-0. Oh, Kaister. It was looking so good for him as well. You're right. It's that fight, like, where was it? This one cliff here. Like, the Reuters got stuck in there somehow. And then, like, the skirms just blasted them to oblivion. And he just threw away his big lead. But, you know, he was in such a strong position after sending 1,000 wood. And after sending infantry combat as well. He had such strong skirmishes. He had all the pop space. He had his 5th bank down. He had a villager lead. And then all of those Reuters just got destroyed and just didn't have that sort of mass. But not ideal. Not ideal for him. 3-0. Congratulations to Pérez. He does pass through to the elimination bracket round 3. And we'll post the brackets in the Twitch chat. Mind you, if you're looking forward to catching up on other series, be careful at looking at that. You might spoil some results for you. But let's take a look at the highlights. I want to see that fight again, where he just... Oh, the Reuters. In fact, maybe I don't want to see it. Let's take a look. Yeah. But he's now getting stuck in. It took him a while there. And this is not looking ideal. Of course, the Sioux, they don't have Minutemen. Does have a batch of war clubs coming out, but a little bit too late, I think. They needed to be in the fight a little bit sooner to deter these Cossacks, but lots of muskets going to be able to focus them down, and really, he's done quite a lot of... This fight is very, very favourable for Pérez.
It's quite... yeah.
Look how... He's going to come out very, very far ahead here. Those Sitambo, not long for this world. More war clubs coming out to defend against the Cossacks. But he's done a lot of damage. Yeah, just gonna go for the throat. Look, Pérez just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna siege down your... Rifle Riders do come out, though. They're going to deflect those Cossacks. Very strong unit, this. I wonder if going for the TC was the right choice. But if he can kite these well and not lose any, and you know, the muskets don't have the super best range, and nor do the skirms, perhaps it'll be alright. And these units shoot so quickly, and so they do such good damage against really anything they're in combat with. He really needs to keep an eye on them and not lose them. No, the Cossacks are very far away. He's raiding with every Cossack he has. This fight might not be very good. He's got some musk, so he can defend against the Axe Riders, but without these units in the fight, this represents so much of his fighting potential. He's just gonna get cleaned up. Oh, Pérez. Oh no. What a disaster. What a throw. Brilliant. Oh no, but he is back now. He's got his units in here. He's on top of the Wukina.
X3 Striders past the Fire Peaks, providing a net of bonus. That was kind of the best trade you could hope for, but this is still going to be close.
Yeah, but imagine how much less close it would have been if the Cossacks were in there from the beginning. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. And I think that is absolutely wicked. They'll be fine to deal with these These
I'm not
Wakina.
sure they will fight in the middle of the villagers, so it's always like, oh yeah, this just much Russian units actually.
Yeah, I think Russia's got this. He's got all these upgrades on his units. Or about, yeah, now the Cossacks are on top of the Wakina, and that is really going to be over. The Musketeers are not going to be threatened anymore. These Wakina, all their shots are going on to the Cossacks, and this fight will be absolutely blue favoured, but almost threw it away. He almost threw the game away. But now that Sioux has lost his mass, and he's in the Fortress Age, he won't be getting those back. I think, you know, most of those, that arm, the safer thing to do is just to not take fights sometimes and just get, once you have enough units that it makes sense to send cav combat. I feel so happy when I can do that. But, oh, that is, that's awful. Look at those Changdao absolutely beating up, and look at the meter hammers on top of the Wakina. That was such a terrible fight. Like, Green is absolutely boned. Like, just everything went wrong. He had meteor hammers, he had all the China's cav on top of his skirmishes, and the Changdaos and muskets all on top of his cavalry, and just, like, that fight was, like, possibly the worst fight ever. Like, that was just, I'm sorry, that, there's no redeeming qualities there. That went so horribly wrong for the Sioux. It was... Minutemen can be called here. He doesn't have any units in queue, so it's not like he can pop an extra Huss or something like that. That Vrax is nearly built. He's going to be able to pick that up. That's really, really nice. And he's obviously belling all these vills have just come back to work. Is he going to take the fight? Yeah, the 4 cav coming in there. They do get caught, but he's just trying to defend the rat barracks for as long as he could, which worked. He managed to get the barracks fully constructed. Did take some hits on the cav for it, but at least it goes up and doesn't take that ×4 anymore. And he's kept these cav, like, now forcing the vills back into the TC. And he's going to leave Pérez now up to the Fortress Age. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a skirm war in the middle of the map. But, oh, look at the wall, the quick walls. But it's got 0 HP on the other one. It's not even a quick wall. It was just him. It was him building walls because he expected this to happen. But it happened too soon. But it's fine, right? He's going to get... He loses.
I'm not a huge fan of shipment.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see, like, cav combat or something. That's no, God, get out of there! Look at the skirm! Oh no, he's taken so much damage! Oh, Reuters! Oh no! God, that's so disgusting! Why are they standing there? Get away from the skirms! Oh, I feel so horrible right now. Why has this happened twice in a series? What? He's through it! I swear to God, he's thrown it!
He's throwing it, yeah, he's throwing it super hard. And he lost a couple of gears too.
Okay, the skirm masses, let's switch on over to military. Ouchie, I think is the only way to describe that. Pérez, congratulations. Kaister, oh my goodness, I feel so sorry for you, man. Whelp is the only thing I can think of to say. But I really enjoy watching the highlights back. That was really fun. But that is it from us here at Lobby Simulator. We'll be back tomorrow with Wicked Cossack versus Risi, continuing the New World Championships. That will be at 19 GMT. But do tune in a bit earlier. We'll be here from 17 GMT. I'll be doing some Stronghold, which is another retro RTS game that we've been enjoying playing. We're working through the campaign, some community games, and maybe we'll throw all of that up in the air and not do any of that, because there may well be more New World Championships to cast, but currently just the Wicked Cossack versus Risi, so do tune in for that one. It's going to be a really, really interesting series because, well, I was casting with Cossack earlier, and we all can see he's very knowledgeable about the game and a very strong player. And I think he is the favourite, but Risi, he knocked Tabern out of the tournament. Well, he didn't knock him out. Tabern is now in the lower bracket, but Risi did very, very well to get this far.